The venue for the Olympic Games right here at Teahupoo. Wahine is more than ready. Dedicated herself to learn the ropes of one of the heaviest waves on the planet.
She is making women's surfing proud because she continues to raise the bar.
At the outset of this wild journey, never in a million dreams I would have thought this little girl from Huahine could have a chance to be part of her first Olympics at home. And especially at Teahupoo. All the lessons Teahupoo gave me, from the fears of setting a toe in the water to my first barrel going left, the time spent underwater, the jet ski rides, the best barrels of my life. The rain, the rainbows, the darker times, the friends that became family, the gift of feeling alive, and the one place that made me the surfer I am today. Hello, my name is Fierro. I'm 24 years old, a professional surfer from Huahine. I started surfing at the age of 4. Every day after school, my sisters and I would go surf. I just loved being in the ocean. I loved surfing and surfing with my friends and my family. And right about the time these pictures were taken of me and some random surfers that came to my island, at the age of 12, my dad asked me if I wanted to compete in my first contest in Tahiti. And I was not really interested in it. I was just a free surfer after school. I still went by curiosity, and I lost in the final. And I told my parents I wanted to train harder, surf harder to win my next contest, and that's kind of how my competitive journey began.
World Champion, Fierro.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to represent TD and be the first Tahitian to win this event. And now that I think about it, my journey with Teahupoo was similar. Tahitian surfers do have this reputation of being watermen and big wave riders, and that wasn't really the case for me. The first time I ever surfed Teahupoo was during a local contest, and I didn't catch a wave. I was terrified. But slowly, I started going out more, catching more waves each time I went out. Eventually, I started falling in love with the beauty of this wave.
Te moa e a whaaro o mai tō ure oe, ti ai a ori mai. I don't need no makeup, I don't need no dress. Tonight I wear the rhythm. Fabric be my dance.
I got selected by the French team to have a chance to qualify at the Olympics 2024. The qualification was happening in El Salvador, which is two completely different waves. But I was so excited because this kind of opportunity doesn't happen twice. To have a chance to qualify and win a gold medal at your first Olympics at home, it's crazy. I flew to El Salvador, got there, and I just wanted to start practicing in the big waves. Every morning, go down to the beach and surf, test the new board, fins, figuring out the lineup. Each day, I was getting more and more comfortable with the place, with my team. I've been journaling a lot about my surfs, like the lineups, the waves, my feeling. It's my 7th surf today.
I know that you can't kind of predict what's going to go on, but to say maybe you don't qualify for the Olympics, or are you worried about kind of the recovery for that?
There's a lot of like worry and fear that can, surround us during these kind of moments, but I feel like worrying about that is like taking your focus off the the right things. So whatever happens, like it's always a lesson. Like there's always a lesson in those moments. Obviously it sucks when it happens, but there's always something to learn.
Do you feel pressure? What pressures are you feeling?
I have that a lot, the pressure of not deceiving like my parents and my sisters and my country. Like for me, I love when I'm winning because everyone's winning. That pressure for me, I use it also as like a fuel, like I want to make them proud. I want them to be happy to what I'm doing. So that would be the biggest pressure I have.
Can you just describe that, like the pressure of the country? It's quite a lot because you're representing not just France, but you're also representing Tahiti.
Yeah. Tahitian people, like in Tahiti, they're very supportive of their athlete. It's like everyone's always like there to support you, love what you're doing, and it warms my heart, to have that kind of support. I love making people happy, the people I love, and I love my country a lot. And and it's the same for France. Like they love sports, they love following their athletes, and I'm part of, France, Tahiti, and all that community. They are the ones that help us achieve what we want to achieve. So yeah, I want to make them happy.
Welcome, surfers from all over the world. We are here in beautiful El Tunco, El Salvador, Surf City. And this is the 2023 Surf City El Salvador ISA World Surfing Games.
The ISA Surfing Games is such a big event. Having all these surfers from all over the world come together this week through surfing is what makes this event so special. Now, you might be wondering, what do I actually need to do in this contest to qualify for the Olympics? In this event, 8 spots are up for grabs on a continental basis, 4 for the men and 4 for the women, giving each continent a spot to qualify for the Olympic Games. Basically, in order for me to qualify, I will have to be the number 1 out of the 40 European surfers in this event. It definitely wasn't going to be easy, but I was excited for the challenge. My first heat was at El Sunzal. I was really excited to start surfing in this event. I was surrounded by good people, and that good energy just made me feel even more confident.
You came to my show, and I saw you in the crowd. I didn't know your name, I didn't know your name. I asked all my friends.
Won my first round and was really happy with that.
They told me the same, they told me the same. I've left my heart to you, but it's not fair, 'cause you're taking.
Made my second and third round by placing second place in both of my heats. My mindset for this event was just to make my heats and remind myself of the good things I was doing in the water. My round 4 got cancelled because one of the girls pulled out.
You stayed in my head, where I saw you all the time. I didn't think you cared, I didn't think you cared. I found you all day, with a mouthful of attitude, and you stole me away, you stole me away. I've left my heart to you, but it's not fair, 'cause you're taking me for granted, baby. I made a start with you, but it's not fair, 'cause you're over the Atlantic, baby. One journey for you, but it's worth it. One life there with me, yeah, it's magic. One journey for you, but it's worth it.
Today, 3 out of 4 continents qualified: Asia, Africa, and Oceania. The only one left is Europe. I could feel the nerves kicking in. I got myself overthinking the whole situation, all the different scenarios that could happen. Then I was just like, Vahine, remember what was your mindset for this contest. Heat after heat, 2 waves, and the rest will follow. I just needed a moment to get away from all this chaos at the beach and recenter for what was coming. Tomorrow was going to be a big day. I could just feel it.
Welcome back to the action here at the ISA World Surfing Games. Day 7 of competition. Finals day is tomorrow, and these 4 women are looking for an opportunity.
Là, ça sert à rien d'aller tout le temps. Ça, il faut que tu surfes. Dès que tu finis la vague, tu jump et tu essayes de. C'est une première partie où tu vas jouer pour le retour.
It was a good heat, and I was excited. With Jeremy, we took the time to analyze the spot properly. The waves were big that day. It was almost maxed out. All I had in mind was catch 2 waves. You only need 2 waves. The moment the horn blew, Sally and Tiara caught the 2 first waves of the set, but didn't get scores out of it. The best wave of the heat came, and I don't know what went through my head, but I let Noah go even though I was inside of her.
This is a great start for the German.
She started the heat with an 8. No one had scores. I had first prio, so I was calm. Then I paddle on this wave, miss the wave, and I see Sally put her hands up.
Ooh, there's a priority pull there.
Vahine with the paddle, doesn't get into it. Fitzgibbons, I believe it was in red, raises the arm, and there we go, priority change. Huge mistake.
I go from first to 4th prio. With 17 minutes left, I was like, okay, it's all good. I have plenty of time. But in the back of my mind, I was also like, okay, Vahine, you just did 2 huge mistakes.
And we've got a paddle there now from Sally.
A victim of the same exact situation that just played out.
Sally does the exact same thing, and Tiara as well. So I climb back to second prio.
Sally, so under fourth, third priority. Has a look at this one. Sets herself up for a great gouging rail work to start off.
I catch my first wave. It's all whitewash and mushy, and I was just like, okay, just surf it the best you can and complete it.
Sets that bottom turn into another gouge in that whitewater section, these smaller.
I paddle back as fast as I could. It took me about maybe 5 or 6 minutes. And then I hear Sally with a 7-6, Noah with an 8. They only needed a backup, and I was trying to get 2 scores on the board with about 10 minutes left. I was second prio with 7 minutes left. I see this wave and I just turn around and don't think about it, and I just go. And on my way back up, I see Noah, who had prio, drop in on Tiara.
The finish of her wave.
No!
Now a huge priority mistake there.
Here's a replay though. She takes off. She thinks she has priority. She bottom turns to hit the very section that Noah takes off on, and Noah unfortunately collides with her.
So Tiara gets an interference and was out. Then Sally with first prio takes her second wave. So she's in front with 2 good scores.
Sally Fitzgibbons up and riding, has first priority heading into this. Now looking to put a second score on the board. She had a 7.67 for her last one.
And I'm still trying to paddle back out after my second wave, and I hear that I have a 6.
But scores have dropped for Vahine. She jumps into the lead with a 6-point ride on the board. We are still waiting for the last score of Sally Fitzgibbons though.
We're down to about 2 minutes, and Noah goes on this really good wave. And in my mind, I was like, okay, now I need another wave. She only needed a 3.16 to pass me.
Tiara, she is going to put everything on the line, regardless of that interference, goes in for a huge hit to the section.
Without even me knowing, somehow Tiara and Noah ended up on top of each other again.
Somehow these two have a magnet towards each other.
But to me, that didn't even matter because I thought Noah got the score on her last one. So I was just really trying to find another wave.
Sally Fitzgibbons with the win. Vahine Fierro through in second. Vahine, the hope.
I wasn't able to get another wave, so in my mind, I was already in the rapid charge. I was resetting as I was going back in and walking back to my team, and one of my staff tells me, "Good job, Vahine." He was like, "You made the heat." And then he didn't even finish what he said, and I started crying. I was so stressed out from that heat.
Yes! Let's go, let's go, let's go. Garde le focus. Garde le focus, faut garder là, faut garder. Let's go. T'as fini, ça repart. C'est bon. D'accord. C'est bien. Ça repart, t'es dedans là, allez go. Là, va voir Thibaut là-bas. C'est bon, là, tu gardes. Ça fait du bien aussi. Mais prends ta casquette, mets ton gros tête. Voilà, reprends comme si la compète, elle continue. Ok? C'était là. Non, c'est des votes. Franchement.
J'étais dedans, mais je suis pas partie.
Voilà, la 8. T'étais bien, t'es pas parti. Tu vois? T'es pas parti là. Ça, c'est la première erreur, tu vois? C'est ça. Et ça t'a déstabilisé. Là, du 8, 7 et tout, j'étais là, putain. Et là, t'as surfé, t'as rien lâché, t'as ramé. Et à la fin, il reste 3 minutes, je sais pas quoi. Va vers elle, t'es allé en haut. La petite, elle a besoin d'un 3, l'allemande. Et t'étais en bas. Elle aurait pu faire un 3 sur une petite comme ça. Et t'es allé dedans. Explore. Là, sur toi, 1 minute, tu vas vers elle. vas-y, garde le focus, concentre-toi, ok?
I had a heat later in the afternoon, so I went home, reset. I called my loved ones. I just needed to talk. I see this message go through saying that all the Europeans have lost and the Olympic slot is between Pauline and I. And I was just like, oh no, not again. I actually had a chance to qualify for the Olympics 2021, and it clearly didn't go my way. Tested positive to COVID 3 days prior to the event. I was testing morning and night every day for 4 days in a row. I finally tested negative, which led me to miss my first round heat, and I started my qualification campaign in the repechage round. There was one spot left for Team France, and in order to qualify, I needed to make the top 7. But 2 French girls made it to the top 7, and only one could make the spot. I ended up matching up with Paulina in round 9, and unfortunately, she qualified by me losing.
Fierro from France at 3.63 was not enough to move to second. Top 2 rights for blue.
It was painful. She qualified in front of my eyes in that heat. And 2 years later, here we were again, at the exact same spot, in the exact same situation. And this moment was all I could dream of for the last 2 years, and it was my time to get it done. Having Joanne and Pauline in the same heat was exactly what I wanted. It was the moment to have one of us go in the repechage and create a separation. Joanne had no pressure. She was already qualified. She had a good rhythm, had 2 scores on the board within 5 minutes. First wave, it was such a white wave, but it gave me enough wall to get 3 turns on it. I opened up with a 5-1. Pauline sat with first prio for so long, and I was sitting a little wider, trying to get a second score on the board. On my way back out, I see Pauline go for this huge closeout turn and falls.
Now into that first snap, looking so smooth, but a terrible fall at the end, Mitch.
And ends up in this rip current with sets breaking on her head. And it was exactly that same place I was at the day before in my free surf.
Now we can see that Pauline unfortunately has such a long paddle ahead of her.
So I knew how long it could take her to come back out. And I was like, okay, cool. I have first prio with 4 minutes left. At 2 minutes left, I paddle for a wave and missed the wave. I was like, oh no, not again. Then with 3 seconds left, this perfect wave come through. But she was too deep.
It has sewn up the result for Joanne Defay taking the win, Vahine Fierro in second. Paulina Du drops into the repechage round.
Pauline had her repechage heat in a couple hours. I made sure to not miss that heat. I went down to the beach so she could feel my presence. I knew all the scenarios. If Pauline loses this heat, I qualify for the Olympics. I was so stressed out. The heat started, she was having a complete shocker, falling on every waves.
The night will hold us close and the stars guide us home.
30 seconds.
I've been waiting for this moment.
20 seconds. 10 seconds.
So anxious.
Ready to count it down? 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fierro officially qualifies for Paris 2024 in El Salvador and has punched her ticket to compete in her home break of Teahupoo.
To have Heimiti qualify at her hometown, I don't know if you could hold the Olympics at jokes without her there.
I woke up that morning and didn't think I was going to qualify for the Olympics. And all these emotions came up. The pressure finally released. It was one of the funnest moments in my life. And having one of my best friends from Tahiti qualify at the same time was so special. I'm not crying!
You're gonna be at Olympia for the rest of your life.
Yes. And I'm doing my first Olympics at home. Best feeling in the world.
Vous voyez pas ou quoi?
Life is crazy, unpredictable, and beautiful. I'm just a kid from Wahine who never thought in a million dreams that I would do any of the things I've done. The only thing I know is I didn't do this alone, and I have so many people to thank. Me surfing in the greatest sports event in the world is a representation of all your hard work and belief in me. I didn't do it, we did it. Maururo.